Good evening. This is Paul Williams. Uh, I'm here to kind of teach and inform everyone on some Puerto Rican traditions and holidays. I grew up in Puerto Rico. My father was a pastor there for a few years, so part of my upbringing was in Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico is a United States territory. It is not a state, but it is a territory, almost like a commonwealth. So they celebrate all of the holidays that we have here, but there are also some cultural traditions and some other holidays that are native to Puerto Rico that are celebrated there and not here in the continental United States. There are some traditions brought over from the Taino people, which are like the Native Americans you would have there. This is here. This would be like the Native Americans there in Puerto Rico, and some African culture as well, and some other blends of different cultures that have all kind of mixed into becoming the Puerto Rican people. Puerto Rico is known for its Christmas celebrations. It has the longest Christmas season in the world. It lasts approximately around 45 days. Starts right after Thanksgiving and it goes well into the new year. Puerto Rico is known for having parandas. They're known for having food, and they extensively celebrate a few other holidays during the Christmas season that is native to their island. Uh, there are some celebrations that Puerto Ricans consider a little bit more important than Christmas Day itself. There's something called the Noche Buena, and that is on Christmas Eve, and that is celebrated with gifts. They do parandas, they have food, and in the food they cook a lot of native dishes there. They have arroz con gandules, they have pernil, they have like stewed chicken, and then they engage in these parandas, which is like the traditional or cultural version of their Christmas carols. This is done a lot with their native instruments that they have there, so they will often accompany the singing with maracas and the guiro, which is like a native instrument from the Taino people. And it's basically like a big party. So they kind of go out Christmas caroling, but they're singing their own Christmas carols, songs that are traditional to the island alone, things that stem back to like the early farmers in the countryside of Puerto Rico. And they go from house to house. So the whole key is that they do it at 10 o'clock at night, or they start late at night, and then they pretty much go and they surprise you with this great harmony, singing, and rhythm. And they basically now come to your house, and then they're entertained, and then now you go with them to the next house, and then at the last house it's just like one big party to pretty much sun up. So there's obviously a lot of the food. There's gifts that are being given out during this time. um, there's also a heavy uh, Roman Catholicism influence on the island, so you will see that during the Christmas celebrations as well. They have some local churches there that have their masses that end on Christmas Day itself, and these masses are pretty well attended. New Year's Eve is also a pretty big deal on the island, not just to bring in the new year, but you have some people there that they also, if they're near the beach, you will see some people fall into the water backwards, and it's kind of like a way of them leaving the last year behind, and they kind of ward off evil spirits. Some people will do those things. Other people will, there's other traditions. Some of them go to church. Some people engage in other things that on Christmas Eve. And then right after Christmas Eve, there's a holiday that is called the Tres Reyes. Now, this is another day of giving of gifts. And on January 5th, all the children, we take shoe boxes and we fill them with grass and you fill them with hay for the camels of the three kings. And in turn, what you would find in there would be gifts. They're not necessarily wrapped, but they would be an exchange of gifts for you feeding and taking care of the camels. There is a town called Juana Diaz, which in the island has the longest Tres Reyes tradition. It's been having these big, pretty much block parties or big festivals for 130 years. And so far, they have attracted over 25,000 people. So, holidays times during in Puerto Rico is pretty big. Like I said, it lasts over 45 days, and it is a time where there's a lot of tourism because there is a great cultural blend of, the Puerto Rican natural culture and also the United States culture. So there's an interesting blend there. So it's a good time of food. There's a good time to celebrate, to learn some new songs. Everybody knows Feliz Navidad, but it's a very good time on the island, very festive time, and it's a time where we may give gifts once a year on Christmas per se, but during the Christmas season, almost every major celebration there's an exchange of gifts. So that's just for us to learn a little bit of the Puerto Rican culture. Uh, Hope you guys learned a little bit about what it's like to celebrate Christmas on the island of Puerto Rico. Later.